Welcome everyone to the Paranormal Pride. I'm your host, Denise Pridemore, and I hope everybody's having a good week, because I know I am. I'm having a great day, and I plan to have a great week. So I hope you guys are all out there waiting for this show. My guests tonight are Scott and Kimberly. Am I right? Yes, Scott and Kimberly Horn, and they brought in a special guest with them. You guys all know Rex Nielson from All Out Paranormal and Discover the Paranormal with All Out Paranormal. And we are going to talk about all kinds of different things. And I did want to let you guys know that all of them are related to a really great charity that you guys should be thinking about. And it's for veterans and first responders, which is a big deal to me. So let's bring up our guest. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, guys. So how are you guys tonight?
We're doing pretty good.
We're good. Fantastic.
Is it snowing up there yet?
No, but it's cool enough to mix that stew.
It's going to happen in the next couple days.
It always does. I mean, you guys have what, 4 days of summer?
Yeah, maybe 5.
5 days.
On a good year, it's 5.
It's windy 3 of those 5 days. So.
Right.
Well, you know, we were just like 82 today.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to be in the 80s tomorrow.
Oh, good. So I guess that they're calling it extended summer now.
Really?
As opposed to what they used to call it.
You can't say it, really?
Yeah.
Indians, we called it Indian summer. Well, I guess
That's what I'd always called it, was Indian summer. So,
Extended
But I'm
summer.
still going to call it Indian summer.
well, when I was on Ghost Adventures, I had told them that I would see at the Sally House, I would see an Indian in the backyard, and I got yelled at by so many people.
Really?
It's like, I'm Native American. Shut up.
Yeah.
You know? And so I got kind of pissed off at people for not knowing that, you know, us proud indigenous peoples are proud to be called Indians. It doesn't matter to us. So, hey, Kimmy. So hopefully you guys get a little bit of Indian summer up there with you guys too. So Scott and Kim, how did you guys get involved with the paranormal?
I always had abilities, and I always had stuff that I kept quiet about. And then when Scott and I got married, it was one of the things I felt like he needed to understand about my personality. And so he was a non-believer, big time non-believer. And so it was like, well, just go with me and I will show you what I'm talking about. And so that erupted into him getting a little curious, a little more curious, and then to him making equipment. And so it kind of evolved in our...
I'm still on the fence. You know what I mean about it?
He's getting open.
I'm more open to it for sure. You know, because I've seen things and I've felt things that in my mind can't process. You know, we captured stuff that I can't explain or debunk away. But I'm always leaning towards trying to debunk first, you know, a rational thought process of everything. But like I said, I've seen some stuff that definitely more open to it than I was 10 years ago when we started.
Well, you know, you do definitely need to be skeptical of everything. And I'm not just saying that because it's paranormal. So I want to say hi to Karen, that's Ron's mom, and Dave, and Rosalie. And Rosalie, I am excitedly waiting your ceremony at the beach. Cannot wait for you to get down there. So, so how long have you been married?
10 years. Yeah, 10 years.
So I didn't do that to Ron. I never told him.
Oh.
So, okay, Rosalie, I'll bring the monkeys. That's all I can do. If it's going to be a circus, I'll bring the monkeys. So, only thing I had told him was, you know, I told him stories about when my dad was killed, and I told him that I saw it, and he thought maybe in my mind's eye or whatever. I don't know what he was thinking. And I'd also told him that that there was a boy in our house. And I never said a ghost. I just said a boy. I said, there's a boy in our house. And I said, and he says, Mom, and I say, what? And he leaves. And for 11 years, that's how it went, and I never told the kids about this until one day. And actually, I never said a word to them. They told me, Mom, there's a boy in my room. There's a, boy downstairs, whatever. And that's when Ron started giving a little bit more validity to it. But it was a car salesman that told us that we had had a suicide in our house, and we didn't know.
Oh, they didn't disclose it to you.
You don't have to in Missouri.
Okay. That was the same thing in North Dakota.
Yeah.
At Scott's house.
Yeah, it was one of those weird things that, if they didn't pronounce him dead in the house, how would you know?
That's true.
Right.
That is true.
So, but yeah, he didn't really know about this until we had been married 11 years, 12.
10, 11.
Then she dropped the bomb.
And here we are almost 40 years later, and we're involved in this to here. And, and now he tells everybody, she sees them.
Yeah, we kind of evolved too, at the beginning, she was still learning her craft. And, and so she kind of brought me along with it. Yeah. And I always of course, I'm a guy, I like things that make noise and light up and, things like that. So yeah, Rex is laughing. So I'm really heavy. I like the equipment side of it. I really do. And it keeps me really engaged. And I think I'm not out to try to prove anything to anybody. Look what we caught. You have to believe I'm not like that. Yeah. But I like when we catch stuff and I can show somebody something. If they choose to believe that or not, that's fine. I'm getting more of the personal experience out of it now than I did, say, 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. It's getting a little more exciting for me that way. Yeah. Versus always having to have something to show somebody. I'm getting more on the personal experience side of it and just, enjoying it more for myself.
Yeah, I've heard that for those who can't speak to them, they create equipment. So you're not the only one.
I can speak to them. I just don't know if they're listening or they're answering back. That's all.
Well, like you said, we can hear them and we can tell you what they're saying, but you can't. But you're the person who's validating that we can.
Yes, big time.
Right. Exactly.
So up until I met with him when I was 20 and 22 or so, I dabbled with the tarot and from then on and, pendulums and that sort of thing. But I was always drawn to the whole Native American stuff. I was an outfitter and guide, was married for, before that. And so I always went with nature, spent a month up in nature and didn't know why. And so I was always, that's how that part balanced me and healed me before I actually got a mentor about 8 years ago. That kind of helped me understand it more. But I always went, I always started with the Native American side. And it just, everything that I did was like self-taught, the saging and everything that I did up until that point. And so when Scott and I got together and I got him in on the equipment, it was pretty cool because then I started getting the validation from everything that I had been doing by myself and, sneaking off and going camping. Before I met Scott, I taught him how to bow hunt. That was the first thing I gave him when we got together was as a wedding present was a bow. So, so that was kind of I was always an outdoor girl, 6 brothers, the only girl. So lived in Wyoming, raised on the reservations. So I had that thought process already, that spiritual side already in place. So it wasn't until we got together that I started exploring the more of the other side, the more metaphysical side with the crystals and things like that, which I'm still not, that's not what calls to me. It's still outside. It's still nature. It's still, my guide, Joseph, he's Native American. I'm pretty sure that he's an old soul, but I have no idea as I go along where this stuff comes from still. So I'm still teaching myself to trust it and just say it. And it's pretty cool because we have been on quite the journey. So it's been unique.
Now I got this technical question that you're just going to love.
Uh-oh.
How do you know that it's a spirit guide and not something else?
discernment, which I work on really hard. It's gut feelings, stomach issues type things, the tingly and the different feelings. I'm starting to identify what gives me what sensations when I get the sensations.
What
And
it means.
yep, like it took us up 4 years ago before I actually realized I was messing with an elemental instead of, something else. And so that was like my lesson there. And so now I can feel elemental energy versus regular other spirit energy. And what's crazy about it is when we're looking on the SLS and XLS and I'm feeling that energy, a stick figure just shows up. But whenever I'm feeling elemental, that stick figure will spread clear across the room. It does weird stuff on the camera. And so that's interesting that we're picking up a different thing on film, basically, than what we see out of, your just run-of-the-mill spirits. So to me, that in a way is also interesting and a little bit of validation that it's a different energy, kind of signature for me. But it's just, that's why we do it. It's because every time we turn around, I'm learning something new. I'll never learn it all.
So Scott, your background, how does that lend to building equipment?
Well, I've always been kind of meticulous in everything I do as far as detailed. I've got retail background for about 15 years in management. I worked as a service writer. I worked at a company that used to build circuit boards and cables for like F-15s, F-16s, military helicopters, 737, Boeing contracts, stuff like that. And I was their quality person. So I guess I've always enjoyed building things with my hands as well, working on cars, that kind of thing. And it just kind of played into the whole paranormal thing, to create something to use in the field. I mean, everything that I've made it's nothing I don't own the technology. I didn't discover it or nothing. It's all simple stuff like that I've refined, I guess, to the stuff that I like to use, make it user friendly. Rex knows, a little more compact, to where the average person can afford it, like a SLS, they still are $500-600, where mine's, mid 300. So, and I think mine, I'm not trying to boast about it, but I think the package and the platform of it is way ahead of everything else that's out there.
So the thing is, Scott, if you build stuff, boast about it. Don't sugarcoat it, but at least put it out there and say, hey, I make the best ones and this is why. It may only be the best of you, but it doesn't matter. It's up to the person to decide what they think. But you, on the other hand, you do it. You make the best.
He does.
So quit downgrading
myself. So
he is hard on himself.
I'm hard on myself. So I always try to strive for more and better, being better. So,
you can still strive for better. You can, mine's the best, but it's only the best until I get to the next one. Then it'll be the best.
That's right.
So I'm a cheerleader.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
So Rex, how are you?
I'm fantastic. I really am.
Missed you.
I missed you too. Big time. Everybody, if you don't know that she's my mentor and I love her to death, and she's made a huge difference in my life, and I can't even say enough about her.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you too. So what do we've been on here for 15 minutes already. So I know that a lot of people may already be in here listening. I was told that you had something you wanted to share with us tonight.
Yeah. I went out to South Dakota, stayed with Scott and Kimberly for 10 days? Ended up being 10 days, wasn't it?
I thought it was 100 days.
100 days.
It felt like it, didn't it?
Probably for you.
All I could hear was, does this guy ever sleep or not? What the hell?
Fish and house guests after 3 days.
We left a hairless Bigfoot in our house.
Yeah.
He didn't start rubbing on your walls, did he?
Not that I can tell. He was
Well,
alone by himself for a long time, so I don't know.
well, okay. Well, we won't ask the rest of those questions. But thank you guys for bringing him home.
Yes.
Yes.
I guarantee Joy was excited to see him when he got. She's probably enjoyed having some alone time, but was really happy to get him back.
So where's my car?
Yeah.
Even everything that happened, on the way out to South Dakota, me losing a car and so on and so forth. That's life still goes on. I mean, I wasn't going to let it get me down. These guys worked so hard on the event that I came to South Dakota for, and which was amazing. I can't wait till next year. I really can't.
I heard,
But when
it was really a good event.
it was a lot to pack into a couple days,
Yeah.
but there's so much history with Deadwood, finding out that every 7 minutes somebody got killed in Deadwood.
Yeah.
That was just like, are you shitting me?
What was
Wow.
the time frame? What was the time frame of that every 7 minutes? From what year to what year?
I don't know that, but it was during the gold rush.
It'd be 1880s,
Yeah.
1890s,
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Because it was at that was part of the major gold rush because of Black Hills Gold. That was all part of the California gold rush. And so you were getting everybody through there on their way back and forth. So
Was it always called Deadwood?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because there's a creek here that's called Murder Creek, but it wasn't always called Murder Creek. That's why I asked.
So, but it was for a great cause too. I mean, Sacred Mountain Retreat. I'm actually going there next year, so I can't wait to go. And great people. I mean, the people that run it are just phenomenal. I can't say enough about them either. And Scott and Kim, I mean, I love them to death too for putting up with me for 10 days and dragging me all over hell and high water. So,
that we had a good time. This is so
we
crazy.
did,
It was
but
crazy. It was busy.
Scott brought up an idea before I came to South Dakota, and he goes, how would you like to work on a piece of equipment that's exclusive to All Out Paranormal and put it out there for people to purchase? And I was like, hell yeah. So he did an amazing job. I'm glad we're going to show everybody tonight. This is what will be available.
That's it.
There you
all you
go.
get.
That's all you get.
We technically showed it.
Hang
Hang on a second. I
It
don't
is
have the battery.
my logo, All Out Paranormal's logo. The box is made into, and it's a REM pod, and he came up with the design on the casket, which I just thought was really cool. And then the lights are
Super sensitive too.
in the cross on it.
Oh, wow. It's pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, this is really sensitive.
So the only place you're going to be able to buy this is through Rexy.
From Rex.
Yep. So you'll have to go to his Facebook.
So
To
what
get a
we're going to
hold of
kind of do is we're going to do them in batches. I'll do so many. I think we're going to start with this design with 5 of them. And then after I'll build 5, there'll be 5 available. And then we'll decide whether we switch up the colors, probably, do something a little different, and then do another batch of 5 and kind of go that route.
Is that made with a 3D printer?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I have some ideas to make something.
So as long as we're on the roll here with this stuff, let me show you. So this is another one of our products. This is a motion sensor.
Okay.
Got our logo on the side.
Okay.
Then it's just a
Yep.
simple motion sensor.
Yep.
It also makes cats jump. Sarah just did.
So this here is our newest XLS. This is the body. The tablet goes on top here, but this is the newest one.
What are you doing?
It's got our hand on the front. You can see that lights up when it's powered on.
Okay.
We just added this feature where it's got the battery indicator for how much battery life. There's a battery in here for the sensor. So this with the tablet, it weighs about 4 pounds.
Kind of
Okay.
heavy, but it's because the battery's heavy.
Yeah, the battery's heavy. The sensor's twice as heavy as the SLS one. You know, you have to use a bigger tablet. So, and we've got it about as light as you can physically make them. I mean, because there's probably like only 10 ounce of plastic in this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This right here, so you can actually put it on a tripod.
Handle.
So you don't have to stand around and move it.
We use a monopod if we're going to be using it a lot. Either that or a tripod. Monopod just takes the weight off of it while you're using it. So
for people who don't know what an XLS is, it actually is it's 3D mapping that uses
it's kind of like sonar.
Yeah.
It uses like a sonar versus like where the SLS uses an IR grid to detect differences for when it's looking for the human skeletal features, where the XLS uses the sonar mapping the time of flight. So it's mapping how long it takes, the sound to come back.
Yeah.
So
Zach's using it on Ghost Adventures, a version of the XLS there. So you can, if you ever watch his newer shows, you'll see the mapping on there. It's what this one does.
Okay, so how much is an XLS?
An XLS with the storage case is $450.
Okay. And without the storage case?
I don't sell them without a storage case.
Okay.
For one, because of shipping.
Yeah. We just got back an XLS that was damaged.
I shipped one, and I kid you not, that tablet was dented this far on one end. It went like this.
Yeah,
I don't know what they did with it, and they must have just crushed it with a forklift or something. But
did you ship it through FedEx?
Post office.
Oh, well, post office.
Right. Yeah. So everything all the SLS and XLS, I don't sell them anymore without a case, and I'm still cheaper than anybody else.
That's true.
Yep.
How much is an XLS camera that you don't make?
Ooh,
$585.
I think that's the cheapest out there.
That's the only one I've seen for sale. It's $585, and it's like a big clunky.
Yeah, it's clunky.
Yeah.
Because I got to show you, he made me a one of a kind, my SLS. He made for me.
Ghost version.
Yeah.
Yes.
That you can't really see his on the back, but that's his nun on the back of there.
He's got his nun that he drew.
My nun's on the back. And
I like equipment that's not all black. And I'll tell you why.
This is one of a kind. There won't be.
Well, the reason I'm saying I don't like them all black is because when it's dark in a room,
hey, Marilyn,
sometimes you miss picking up your equipment because it's dark.
It's true. No, we missed a charger at Deadwood.
that's why I use a light on the on-off switch, a blue light on most of my stuff.
It's plugged in.
Hello, Barbara. Hello, Mary Lynn. If you guys, so everybody out there, if you have any questions at all, please ask your questions. We will get them asked. And if you're watching this in replay and you have a question, please ask the question. We will get it. We will answer your question. I will send it to the people that were on the show that day and get them to answer your question. I will badger them till they answer. I promise. So
we just met Charity. She came out for the Deadwood event. And so
she was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Charity. So, so Rex, what is your review of their equipment?
It's phenomenal, and the price, you can't beat it. And especially for the XLS and the SLS, they're not bulky, they're not hard to to carry around and use, and they're very user friendly. And not just because they're two of my favorite people on the face of the earth, but I won't buy any equipment from anybody else.
Oh.
So Mary Lynn
There's stuff-
asks, when is Horn Paranormal coming to investigate in Texas?
Well, Mary Lynn, it is getting to be cold outside. So who knows? Soon? I thought you'd be sick of us by now. Mary Lynn also stayed at the house with us. She was the one who was my mentor for years. So she's also part of the team. So it's funny she's doing that. You little shit.
Well, there's always got to be some heckler out there somewhere.
Right?
And it's usually the people you totally know who's going to do it.
Yeah.
Usually it's me.
We'll be watching now.
So, oh boy. So what other equipment do you make?
So I've got, I think there's only about 5 or 6 items right now, which is the XLS, the SLS, that motion sensor. I've got a REM pod, and I've got one right here, another REM pod. This is actually the Searchers brand. I make one like this in red and white for the Horn Paranormal, but this, we're sponsor Searchers, Shane and Josh.
I've had Shane on.
Yes, he's awesome.
It's been a couple years ago, but yeah, I've had Shane on. He is such a good guy.
Yeah, he is. Yep. So we make pretty much everything we make. We make a Searchers version for them, and it's only available on their website, which is searchersbelieve.com. Same with the XLS, SLS.
They have a piece of equipment that we made just for them that they're going to be debuting.
We've got an exclusive piece coming out, and it's whenever Josh gets around to releasing it, we're going to do that in batches as well. But
Very cool.
so I got 2 different REM pods. That's about it, really.
Yeah, we're working on a couple of things, but he's been working to get that XLS perfected. So he hasn't really moved on yet to a couple other ideas we have, but there are some ideas.
It takes time, to develop some of these things. Like my first SLS, the first gen previous to the one I have now probably took me 3 weeks of printing and
getting the designs right.
Yeah, just getting the design where I could produce it, and then probably another month after that fine tuning it. But now, I mean, we're talking that was a year ago, and now I just did a redesign on the XLS for battery reasons, and it only took me like 2 days. So as far as the 3D printing, I've got that figured out pretty well, but it just takes time to more the electronics and figure out what things work and what don't work, and if it's really something you want to pursue.
If we could get something that was really inexpensive as far as infrared, we would do it. But it's so hard to find any of
thermal?
Thermal, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thermal. I went down that road for a while, and it's very expensive. I spent a lot of money on a product that to me it looked like crap as far as your Hey, Angel. As far as the imagery, to me, it wasn't worth it. So I tell everybody, go buy those ones for your phone. The ones that plug in the bottom of your phone. Those things
They're
are
what, 179?
Yep.
I mean, that's the last time I looked was like 4 years ago. They were 179. I don't know how much they are now.
Yeah, they're about the same. 180, depending.
Yep.
And they work great. They really do.
Either that or get a friend in the fire department.
There you go.
Hey, there you go.
I'm not stupid. Become a volunteer fire department firefighter. That way you can get up to all the good stuff.
Right. Yeah, those FLIRs that had the bigger screens on them, they're like $4,000.
Yeah.
Not
We've
many
got
people
a handheld one that cost us what?
We spent $500 on one, and it was the screen's like
tiny.
2 inches at best, and
our cell phones are bigger than those screens.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I said. Yeah, those other things are way better and a lot cheaper.
Right. So,
hey, Angel, I hope you're doing good. So,
hey, Angel.
So, Rex, how much is your REM pod going to be? Do you know yet?
What did we decide on, Scott?
I think it's to be right in that $100 range.
Okay.
Because what we're doing, we're going to take out the cost of the parts to make, and then we're going to split the difference.
So, but
Okay, so I have a technical question for you though. How long did it take you to learn how to use a 3D printer?
that's what took him a while. Was the program the best programs to go with the 3D that he found?
Yeah, I've seen where a lot of people they get a 3D printer and they think it's just you just print something just like you would print anything else, on a regular printer or whatever. But you have to. I mean, sure, there's things out there that there's websites you can get the files and put it into the computer or the printer, and then it'll print it. But I don't think since I got the printer, I've printed more than a handful of things that I didn't make myself. So there's programs you basically need to know how to use
Slicing program?
CAD programs. And I got a lot to learn as far as that goes, because everything I make is pretty. Each item gets a little more complex because there's a lot to it. You can draw something, but will it actually print? And be workable.
He's got 2 dual color printers, which will drop 2 colors at once onto a thing versus a single. So he'll have some of the printers will be tied up doing just the black bases, and then he'll be
for example, this black base on here takes 14 hours to print.
Oh wow!
And
Just
the lid
for
takes
small.
like 8.
Trust me, because I was wanting him to do a big coffin box for my dolls, and he's like, nope.
Just so you guys know, CAD, it's computer aided drawing, depending upon which program you have.
Yep.
And that's part of the things that I used to do in my job.
Oh, nice.
So, but I didn't have a 3D printer. I mean, I was just putting in the stuff for the drawings for, hey, where's this fiber going from point A to point B on the map, so that, or who's got at that time CenturyLink service in their houses, and I would draw the lines or put the power outlet or put the outlets in to say this is where they go. So that was one of my jobs in the past, was to do the drawings. But I was going to school. When I was going to school, I wanted to be a drafter. I wanted to be an architect. So, and I want to say hi to Barbara and Julie. Julie, it's so glad that you're here tonight. And again, anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. And like I said, I'll badger them until I get an answer. So if you want to see that might be fun too. But so that the box that you did for Rex,
right,
took
more than 24 hours.
It's like
yep.
What did I say? 8 and 14. Yeah, about 21 hours. Yep.
And was that just the top and the bottom? What about the sides?
Yeah, the lid screws on from the top, so the lid was separate print.
Okay.
Took like 8.5 hours. Then in this bottom part, the housing took like 14.
So this is one piece, and then that's one piece.
Yeah, so
with the cross.
A single color printer, you wouldn't be able to do the red inside this.
That was dual print, and then that was dual print with the red.
Yeah,
white.
it's got the transparent white for the cross, and then the red.
Wow.
I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of hard, but it's got AOP down here with
I saw that.
Yep.
So it's amazing. I mean, so just 21 hours on that part, and then the rest of it. So basically takes you about 24 hours to make one piece of equipment.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have, so it prints when you're sleeping then?
Yes. Yep. And you pray the power doesn't go out.
I was saying, you pray hard. Even the littlest blip, you're going.
Yeah. When storms roll in, our lights would flicker, and I'm just like as fast as I can get downstairs checking on the machines, because they do have a power cutoff, where they're supposed to resume, but if it blips so fast that it won't even recognize the power went off, but it stops, and it's like, oh my god, it's so frustrating. But it is what it is.
Oh, I understand. I do automation. And sometimes it doesn't know that everything else is stopped, and it's sitting there going,
right.
Why isn't, and it thinks it's going, and you're sitting there going,
it's not. So we were talking about time frames. So like this guy here, the black portion takes 24 hours on a single color printer. The little grills on the side, I print those on my dual color. That takes it takes like an hour and a half for both those, and then the bottom piece takes like 8 hours on a single color. Now, if I have to do like Rex's SLS was done on a dual color because it's got his logo on it. I have to do that on my dual color, and that's significantly slower. It's about probably 40% slower because of the dual colors. So that one probably took 40 hours to print.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So if I customize one of these for somebody, I'm actually doing 2 right now. They take 45 hours just for the black portion.
Oh, wow.
So we got about a 2-week timeout for people to get their stuff when they order, is what we ask of people.
Yeah, and I don't think I've gone longer.
That's your lead time then.
Yeah.
At least a 2-week lead time.
Yep.
Yep.
Knock on wood. No.
Yeah, we've been pretty good keeping in stock with everything. It's a balance of keeping parts for all of the stuff. I mean, I don't really want to expand too much more on product, just for the fact that you have to carry so many parts just to have, say, a couple, to be able to build a couple items at, if need be. So, I mean, this is a hobby for us, and
This pays for us to be able to go investigate places. That's what it's for.
yeah, it's all stays in the business, and we use that to travel and investigate
Yeah.
when we can.
So do you guys have day jobs?
We're both on disability.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Scott has stage 4 kidney cancer, I think I mentioned. And so he went on disability a few years ago, and it was crazy how that worked out because I'm a 100% disabled veteran. And my migraines ended up turning into like stroke-like hemiplegic migraines. And so I was driving to work, and I would just have one while I was driving. And so then my dad, Scott, somebody would have to come get me because I just left side of my face would go into like a stroke. I'd start drooling, and they would just hit whenever. And it was just so crazy. So I got to the point where they put me on complete disability because of not knowing when they hit. And so we ended up going down to Arizona thinking, well, maybe the weather would make things better and give me some reprieve. But little did we know, because we went down to Arizona, we met somebody who was 100% disabled veteran. He was World War II or Vietnam vet. Great guy. Anyway, he told me, get your husband on Champ VA. I didn't know I could get him on that. And I got him on, and a year later he was diagnosed. So he has better insurance than I have. We were able to take him to Phoenix Mayo. It was like everything happened for a reason. And now we're back up here in South Dakota thinking about we want to go back south again. So I don't know. We're just tossing that out
The
here.
strange thing for you guys is almost everything is south.
Yeah.
So, well, I wish you both good luck.
Thanks.
But I do have a question about the migraines. How did they know that you were having?
Hemiplegic?
Yeah.
My story is kind of crazy.
It was actually Mayo when we were down at an oncology visit for me that she got talking to the doctor, and he told her what kind of headaches they were, because the VA didn't even, they were just, they like to just pump medicine at you and try this stuff, try that stuff.
So I was medically discharged from the military, and my story is they experimented on me with experimental drugs, hormone drugs, because I had endometriosis, and they gave me stuff that wasn't even FDA approved. Well, it caused me to have pre-cancer. So they went in, and by the age of 32, I had to have a full radical hysterectomy. And when that happened, it triggered migraines. And I'd had them when I was 16. So they were like thinking hormonal. They thought it was something that was re-triggered. Well, with that going on, they continued to pump me full of all kinds of medicines, drugs, the Botox shots, all the migraine stuff, until my body finally said, whoa, enough is enough. And my migraine started to morph to where I couldn't take medicines anymore. I have food allergies like crazy. I can't eat certain foods without breaking out in hives. My body just goes into this weird, like, leave me the hell alone. But now I have hemiplegic migraines that can come. And so now I can't take anything. I can't take anything but Tylenol for my migraines if they hit, because of the reactions I have to the medications they pump me full of for years. So that's why they said, okay, we'll make you 100% disability. Sorry, we screwed up your life and you can't have children.
And she had to fight for that.
Yeah,
you know.
it's been a long haul, but we are here now. It's just chronic in my mind. It's not like, it's terminal. And it has led us to be, I don't know, I think we've become better people because of all the stuff that we've dealt with. I think it helps us be more compassionate to others, because you can't always see a person's disability from just looking at them. And so I think it was a good life lesson for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So what is the symptoms of a hemiplegic migraine? Because I mean, every once in a while I get migraine so bad that I'm slurring my speech. I cannot stand up
It's
straight.
like that.
Oh.
It's a lot like that. I mean, because that's what my migraines used to do. And when they started to change, I remember going to the ER one time and they were trying to get me to talk to them, and all I could spit out was the word 7. And it scared me because I knew what I was thinking, but I kept saying 7, 7, 7, like somebody with Tourette's. I couldn't stop saying the word 7.
Yeah.
And
I've been like that, to where whatever words that are coming out of my mouth aren't the words that I'm wanting to say.
So scary. So then about a year or two later, that's when the tingling, because you always get migraines, will make you'll get tingle sensation. It starts the same way, comes on where it gets really tingling, and then my arm goes icy cold and everything just goes limp. And it happens within like 15, 20 minutes. They don't last a long time. They go quicker than a normal migraine. But as soon as I start feeling tingling, I start getting panic attack almost, because I'm scared it's going to turn into hemiplegic. I mean, there's nothing.
Does it affect your vision?
Yes.
Like,
My vision's always been messed up with migraines.
So is it like what do I want to say? Like an optic migraine where you can't see straight ahead, but for some reason you can see some things on the peripheral? Or is it just blurry and you can't see?
It's the blurry and the pain of the lights. And when you close your eyes and stuff, it's you have all the sparkle stuff, happening with your eyes closed. But it's the nausea. The nausea is so bad, because it's like you've been on a ship out at sea, and it hits first. With my migraines, the nausea is always the first thing, and my vision is the first thing that starts messing with me. Like your eyes get tired. And then my migraines always hit early in the morning, between like 2 and 4 in the morning, when I'd get one, before I'd even wake up. And
That's bad.
Yeah, so I have a hard time. Mornings aren't good for me. I have a lot of fibromyalgia and things like that, so I have to do a lot of different lifestyle changes not to trigger a migraine, like the food and making sure that I keep. That's why we're talking about going south. The fibromyalgia, just different things, old age.
But I'll tell you, the worst thing about moving is finding all these specialists all over again.
Oh yeah,
The ones that you can trust.
that's true.
And because you don't know who anybody is.
It's true.
And they all
Establishing these
and at
relationships.
this point they all want their pound of flesh.
Yep. Or
I mean,
to get in on time, to get in and not wait a month to get in to see somebody.
Yep.
That's what the craziest part is.
I have an appointment to see an electrophysiologist in January. That was the soonest I could get in, is January 31st.
Wow. Yeah, see, I know if we went for my stuff, I'd go back to Mayo and Phoenix. Everything's right there. But as far as her healthcare, I don't know.
He was seen within a week after he was diagnosed, and they had every single doctor lined up for him at Mayo.
Oh, it was
and
quick.
it was like boom,
It
boom,
was
boom.
amazing.
And
It really was.
and they paid his bill, where I would wait a whole year for the VA to pay mine. Same Champa VA, whatever, just different things. His bills get paid, and mine are sitting out there, and I'm getting like collection notices, and then having to get them deferred because they're not my bill; they're the VA's bill. Just the pain in the ass. With the systems are broken so bad.
They are broken. I mean, they were better for a while, and then they got broken again.
Yeah.
Not going to get into the politics part. We all know what's going on.
Yep.
Don't even have to watch the news. Don't even need to watch that. So Rex, when are you going back to see them?
Tomorrow, if I could.
Look, I got to change locks tonight.
That's true.
No.
We didn't do the ring
Need a
commercial.
number to a locksmith? I can find you one.
He probably remembers our code, how to get in anyway.
I do. Hopefully it'll be before. Well, I know it will be before the Deadwood event again.
If he comes out, depending on when you get your scheduled time for Sacred Mountain, we'll see you then for sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think they start in April.
March,
Is it March?
I think.
Yeah, because
So-
they told me to. Well, I know I'm already going to get in, but he just told me November 1st the new applications will be out, and just to put in when I want to come. So
Good.
just have to, figure it out. I'm not gonna not go like I did this year. You know how.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I'm glad that they hadn't bought my ticket and everything already before I had to let them know that I couldn't make it. So, because that really would have been horrible. But some vet got in my place, so that was great.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping I go into surgery in less than 3 weeks, and I'm having the other knee replaced. So I'm hopefully in the spring.
Nice.
I'll probably bring the bike.
Oh, nice.
Better wait till June.
I was gonna say we might have snow until June.
Yeah, I've seen it snow in July in July in Montana.
Yep.
Yeah. So the Sacred Mountain Retreat Center has this huge gala in February, and I'm not sure of the dates, but that's a big fundraiser for them as well. And Rex left us a couple of guitars he donated to them and some of his artwork. Oh my God, his artwork is amazing. That they're going to actually auction off there to help fundraise for it. It's an amazing thing because not only do they send veterans, first responders, and service members, Gold Star members out for their retreat and put them through 7 days of just a chance for them to decompress. But they also have a program where they can apply. If you've gone through the program, you can apply for a dog, a service dog, and they're fully trained service dogs. They introduce them to the owner as puppies, and then they send them away and they get trained and bring them back. And then they work with the owner, the new owner, and them. So you have that relationship with their dog. And they have done some, I think, 4,000 puppies. I don't even know how many they've done so far. There's quite a few.
I'm going to apply.
Yeah.
I'm going to
I think
apply
you
for
should.
one.
Yeah.
So how's your cat going to take that?
Tough shit.
Okay.
He'll be fine. He knows something's going on already. With
How about the lizard? How's
Oh.
the lizard going to take it?
he's gotten really big.
I figured he has.
He's a big boy, and he's still cool as ever. I mean, still very animated and knows when you're talking to him, and he knows I'm talking to him right now because he spun his head around as soon as I started talking.
Well, see, Scott's all sad. He said you never showed him the lizard when he was there.
Guess
Oh.
I'm not good.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well,
I never did see
I was
him.
so worried about you getting some rest, because
That was a quick trip for sure.
Yeah.
it was a quick trip.
Yeah, I almost wiped out a lizard yesterday at Home Depot. I stopped walking because it was only about this big, but it was right near where I was getting ready to step, and I go, well, apparently you're wanting to be a pancake, and you're not. So, but yeah, I'm starting to see them suckers everywhere, lizards everywhere, but not like Rex's. Rex's is a very interesting looking lizard.
Yes, he is, and like I said, he's a big boy. He is getting bigger every day, and he's still as cool as ever.
Hey, so
she says my daughter Kim is in the process of med boarding out, in the military, and she's telling me about this. She has a golden retriever, and she's only a year old. She's going to ask if they can train her dog. So she wants to have her dog be her support dog.
Oh, nice. So the military trainer dog sounds like that would be great. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I've seen those dogs and they be still my heart. They are so loyal. They're so good. I went through the program too this year, and some of the Sonia had her dog in there. One of the mentors did, and another mentor had their dog in there. And when somebody would get upset during the group, because at night we sat around and just talk, their dog would go. It's like they knew it. They would go and sit on the person's chest and just calm the person down that was getting upset. It's like it sensed, even though it was her dog, it sensed it over here, and they went right over there to be sweet. It's amazing.
It's so cool. Do you qualify for a dog, Kim?
I probably could, and he says no. I got 2 cats. That's why he's like that. 2 cats who aren't service cats.
They kind of are.
I have to tell you, cats will never be service cats. You will be a service person.
We're service human.
Never be service cats.
Yeah, we are servants.
Yep. See, I know how this goes.
I had a lab before I met Scott. She was amazing, and that was my last dog that I had. And
see the cats over there?
Yeah, they're claiming their place.
It's just when we travel, the cats are a little easier to take with, and having to stop with a puppy. And
I may look for one down the road as I get older, and if something should happen, knock on wood that it doesn't happen right away with Scott, but just to help me, because I know that's the reason I went through Sacred Mountain, is I know that day may come, and I don't know how well I'm going to handle it. And so that might be something that I look at, because basically knowing that the tools are out there in my toolbox, having them ready is part of being ready. And so that's what I would say about Sacred Mountain for anybody who might not think that they're ready or need to go see what it's about, because, hey, Kim, it's one of those places that even if you don't think that you're in that position, you don't know, one day you might be. And I still am in contact with everybody in that group. So when somebody's having a bad day, they'll send out a group text to all of us, and we just chat and make that person feel better. So we have lifelong friends that we heard each other's stories. We related to what happened to each other. And so they felt like in a safe environment. So they're not alone anymore. So when somebody's having a really bad day, they just say, they just text us and say, guess what? And I swear we all respond. And just knowing that we've made that connection, and we still have that brotherhood, sisterhood, it's huge. It is really huge. And so that's why I say, go. If you think that you need to go. Even if you need to go back someday, go. If I get to a position where I'm not emotionally on level ground, they'll be the first people I reach back out to.
Do they have other services at Sacred Mountain Retreat besides the staying there? Do they do stuff within the community as well?
They're only 5 years old. I know that Jared and those guys are working on their equine therapy, which they do during that week. And so their big one was the Puppies for Heroes program that they have, and then this retreat center. But they do a lot during that week, and I think they do work with other veteran groups. I don't know what that entails, but I mean, their focus right now is getting established and getting the word out there about who they are and what they're offering, because they're paying for plane tickets and the whole week for each person through the summer, 1 week out of each month for the summer. So just keeping the funding going for that is huge. So,
and for those of you wondering, here is Dave shared the link to Sacred Mountain Retreat so that you guys can check that out. It's a good charity, supports our first responders and our veterans. And as you hear on here, Kim is a veteran. Rex is a first responder. And here on the Bill of Rights Network, almost everybody on this network is a veteran or a first responder, or the spouse thereof of one of those.
so when
it was so amazing with the whole thing because there's nothing out there for law enforcement.
Yes.
There's not things like this. And when I heard about that, I was amazed, you know. And
I asked Jared too. I said, Jared, what qualifies you? Can you be a nurse in an ER and see trauma? And he goes, oh yeah. So if you like an EMT, I mean, seriously, I was going through, a fireman was in there with me, a National Guard person was in with me, a Navy person, a Marine Corps, and then we had a person who had been years ago, I think he was Navy, but his thing was he watched 9/11 happen. He had people affected by 9/11. So everybody's stories were different. The reasons they came was different. One was because they watched an air crash and he had to clean up. He was part of the service members who had to clean up after an air crash. And so it's not always about war. It's about any trauma. It's like me not being able to have children because the medical system was broken and I was a guinea pig for the military. You know, I mean, there's all kinds of reasons behind why a person has trauma. I mean, I'm sure, Rex, 31 years of law enforcement, you've seen a lot of stuff. It's not just one thing. Mm-hmm. So the amazing fact is that they open that up to that. That's huge because, like you said, nurses and doctors, where have you heard a place they could go? Law enforcement, you know?
I tell you, they need to have a place for moms because we've seen it all.
That's true too.
We're the other first responders. We're the unsung heroes of everything.
That's true.
Can I do something right quick?
Yes.
Everybody, you know, I haven't been. I cut my show off until after the first of the year, and I always gave everybody an update on my son, Chaim. So hold on just a second.
Let's do that.
Hey there, Dan. Oh, well, we can talk while he's gone.
Yeah.
So what can we say about Rex while he's gone?
He's a big
I
guy.
can still hear you.
He likes peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
And hot dogs.
Oh yeah, and hot dogs. Oh my gosh.
There is one thing better than peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and bread and butter pickles.
Everybody, here he is.
Hey.
Hey, Shane.
Doesn't he look good?
Yes, he does. I'm just so happy that you're back.
Yeah, me too.
Are you back to stay or just visiting?
I'm back for a little while and then I want to move back out there.
He was in California.
Yeah, I was in California.
Seen it.
So what was your favorite part of California?
The beach.
I knew it.
The beach. I spent a lot of my time there.
That's where we're spending a lot of our time is at the beach down here.
Nice.
And he's got himself a buddy now. Come here.
Leo,
Come here.
Come here.
Oh, he's going where?
Come here, butthead. Get up here.
There he is.
Ah.
He's a
Is
good
it
dog.
a pit bull mix?
Pitbull Great Dane.
Oh shit! You better get a job.
He's
You better
full
get one
grown.
quick.
He's
I
full
was saying,
grown.
better get a job real fast because it's gonna eat you out of house and home.
I put that away already. Yeah, I know people have been asking and sending me messages, and I figured he's staying the night here, and I know, thank you. And I thought I'd just bring him in right quick and let everybody see how great he looks and how well he's doing.
Well,
I'm showing you
Shane,
off.
you've been in my prayers this whole time. Been worried about you, so
I
I'm
appreciate
glad
it.
you're there.
Yeah, me
Keep
too.
it up. Keep it up, buddy.
Yep.
Thank you.
Oh, look at he's singing. The lizard's got his mouth wide open, and I usually go, oh, every time he does it.
Do we have time to show those clips when Rex was out here?
Let me see if I can get those up. So give me a second. Talks amongst yourselves.
Okay. Thank you for letting me do that. Bringing the boy in.
He had to duck to go out the door. So tall.
Yeah, it's not that it's a small house.
Yeah. But it's got 10-foot ceilings, thank God.
So we haven't gotten with Jared yet because he's busy to find out what he's wanting for a date. I'm sure the date will stay the same for Deadwood, Spirit of Deadwood, as it was this year, end of
Okay.
September. But I don't know when he's going to want to get everybody together to talk about it. But I'm sure when he does, he'll do a call like he did before.
Yeah, we got to figure a format, I guess, what he wants to do.
And I hope.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I just hope that everybody.
I cannot share the video.
Oh, okay.
The reason I can, maybe you guys can. The reason I cannot is because this is not my computer. It's my work computer, and it's blocked by the company. And I'm not even on the VPN. So
We send it to Rex. Maybe he can.
Are you able to share that one, Rex, that I sent you?
The
Give
one
me a
was
second. Let me see what I can do. What am I doing here?
apparently my company thinks TikTok is a problem.
It is, so maybe. I don't know. It is a problem. I tried to take a picture of the, I don't know. I screw things up all the time on that dang thing because I don't understand it. I'm not very technical.
I think all social
If I don't
media
understand it, I don't use it.
Yeah.
Ron agrees, and I'm hardly ever on there.
Let me see.
Oh, Bill writes. And send it to Cara. Did you see that, Rex?
I'm seeing if I can share it or not here.
So there was 2 videos, just for anybody who was wondering. One was when Rex came out. Marilyn, we decided that we had a night out, and it was really nice. So we took the UTVs out for a ride, and then that night we ended up in Galena at Vinegar Hill Cemetery, and Rex had just charged up his XLS or his SLS, and so he had walked up to some graves. We found
Go ahead. I'm just telling Carl I sent it.
Oh, okay. So we went up there and we did, I don't know, it was a short investigation, but it was a good night. It was really cool.
It was about an hour.
Yeah. But we had some really cool activity up there. So
Yeah, it
what
was.
that video was about.
It's cool because that's the first time I ever used an SLS, and to what we caught and the reaction we caught from it. I mean, asking it questions like waving, and he waves at us, and
there was a plaque there with all the it was a family grave plot, and there was a plaque there with the information on it.
Oh,
and then we had a spirit box going at the same time, and we caught a name.
Oh.
Was this one 20? Oh, that's 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think this was the TikTok one. I think I added it all together.
Is this from mine?
So
Yes.
This was off of my phone. I was standing behind Rex right here. And Scott was running the microcom.
That's what I got too, Thomas. Hi, Thomas. Hi, Thomas. Yeah, me too.
Yes. Can't
Thank you for
hardly.
allowing us
You
to
could
do
really
this.
hear it louder on TikTok.
Yeah, here you'll
Go
get
to
a little.
TikTok.
Can you wait for us, Thomas?
Yep.
Thank you, Thomas. I catch. He is waving. Thank you, Thomas. Nice to meet you.
So everything is a 180 from what you're looking at with an SLS. It's actually a 180 view.
A few. That's what I thought.
Do you like it when people come here?
In the very beginning, it said Thomas really clear.
And when we asked him to wave, you can actually see he actually puts his arm up and he waves at us.
Who's your friend?
So you can see there's 2 on the screen now.
Yeah, that was his. We found out it was his sister.
Yeah, it came
I
through
think
sister on the
sister.
spirit box.
Can
But
you
right
take
then,
it?
when his thing shut off, and when that happens, usually Spirit
So-
is draining the battery.
I was reading this
So
out
then
loud,
he got it back
and
up.
you can't see it, but I don't know if I can take a picture.
Because I made 2 recordings. What was it? 20 20 minutes worth of
Yep.
worth
So-
of it,
Now,
and
when
there's
you guys
the
review the
the
footage,
information.
We asked who was here and who he was catching on the SLS, and on the microcom, the name Thomas came through.
And if you listen right there, somebody comes on the microcom and says, microcom.
Anyway, so that was really cool. So we
On
think-
the SLS or XLS, is
Mhm.
there a microphone?
No, there's a
I'm
microphone.
talking
Yes,
to the
there is a.
Thomas up here.
So there's a.
Very-
We always use the
Eric was
Bandicam program because it's a
email
good
next
program.
to him,
So
so
you can download it. I think it's
microphone is getting
$19
right,
for it,
be his sister.
and that actually will record it.
So, kinda neat.
But there's a free trial one, and I don't think we were having Rex record it. That's why I was over the phone.
Yeah, it was recording.
Was it?
Yeah, because I got
Got it.
because it recorded what 10 minutes at a time, and I
Yeah.
ended up getting 20 minutes worth of the recording there. It was so cool because, like I said, that's the first time I ever used one, and not that I doubted that it wouldn't work, but I really didn't think
Well,
we were going to
it-
walk up there and catch that much, and the interaction from it was just mind
I was
blowing.
surprised because Scott and I had been there one other time, and we kept getting REM pod activity, and we never took an SLS. And I knew it was an active cemetery, but it was so interesting because I wasn't sure what it held for energy. I just had my imagery that came through and my mediumship stuff that I could see. And sure enough, he started getting. I don't think it's ever been investigated by anybody before us. So that was like the second time, and the spirits there, they were just all chatty. So that was super neat. That they were, they were really into it. So, well, spirits run fast as you swat.
You tell me, Terry.
You swat at them. They'll probably swat back, Terry. If you ain't careful.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that to happen again. Hey,
Yeah.
Evelyn, and hello, Terry. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. So, Angel asks, is there a big family plot with the last name Carter in that cemetery?
Ooh, I'd have to look because most of them are family plots.
I think there was the one that was up and to the right of where we caught on the SLS. I thought was
I'll have to go
a
back
big
and-
family plot, and I thought the name was Carter.
I'm gonna have to go up and look, and I'll have to. I can't send a live to you and take you up there because there's no phone service, Angel. But I can definitely get
Look
you some
up Find a
footage.
Grave. Look up the cemetery and Find a Grave. That'll tell you.
Yeah. 'Cause
So,
that's-
I'm
I
gonna
know
try
there's
to.
because there's still, I mean,
It's active.
The-
I mean,
yeah, oh yeah, it was, but it's funny. All of us said the same thing. It's very comforting in there. It wasn't.
yes.
It was very calm, very inviting when we were in it. I mean, you didn't get any bad vibes
You could
anywhere
sleep all
in
night
there.
in there. Yeah.
Oh heck yeah, I would have.
I would have thrown a
Yeah.
bed real easy.
well, we do it. But
Yeah.
now, see, there's a cemetery when we were talking about cemeteries before the show. The one cemetery that we've already, showed everybody, that one, even though there was a serial killer buried in there and everything else, it did not feel chaotic or anything like that. Did not feel bad. But the one across the street feels totally different. It feels like you're walking into a dark closet. And,
Wow.
it's not as well taken care of, which could be the reason it feels that way. So, been trying to fix washers and dryers and grandpa. Well, this is a family that the house he's talking about was built by my great grandfather. Well, his two, our great grandfather. Dan is my mom's cousin, so my second cousin. You need to have a scorecard to keep track of my family members in chat. So, but yeah, that house is amazing to this day, and I have memories of this house from back when I was 4 years old.
Wow.
So, and
Wow.
it was funny. One day we got there, and I went out the front door and came in the front door, and it's like, oh my God, I remember this house. Coming in the back door, I didn't, but you know, but I go in the front door and it's like, oh my God, I remember. So, you know, flashbacks. So, hey, Judy, and well, it's hard to work and listen sometimes, especially with your customers. Judy's my sister.
Oh,
So, like I said, keep track of this stuff. There'll be a quiz at the end.
I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, crap.
Crap. Yeah, I know. You weren't paying attention.
Denise, I just sent you a video of the XLS footage from the brothel. I wanted to see if we could share that.
Let me see if I can
Forward that on.
bring Facebook back up.
For one thing, it'll show you the difference in the mapping. Plus, it was really cool what we caught.
Oh, yes.
I'll have to narrate it because the audio had a lot of feedback in it, but I'll tell you what was going on.
So on your SLSs
Okay.
and
I
XLSs,
will
you
get
have
that
a
done.
speaker microphone in your XLS, but then you have one in your computer, your laptop too. So
I didn't have the one in the laptop turned
Right.
off, so it was picking up both at the same time. I talked to the maker of that equipment.
he was just so excited. He was so active in all three locations that night. It was crazy. Everybody had some amazing stories. Charity that was on here, she had actually had an attachment on her during it that stayed with her until the end of the night. And so she was not doing well at all because I think she has some gifts and it didn't want to release it right away until she went back to the place where she picked it up and then she gave it the boot. But it was quite the interesting night there.
Yeah, so we had 3 locations. We had the brothel, the Fairmont Hotel, and then the Bullock Hotel.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so this was in the brothel. One of the back rooms. There's about 5 or 6 people in there.
So Scott was standing in the
And
hallway.
I was standing in the
shooting
hallway with the XLS. And you can see the man and lady in front. They're being mapped out. Now watch the lady on the right, kind of her actions, and I'll kind of explain it as you play it there. So I have the sound off. I just recorded it on my phone real quick. So watch her. She's
starting to go limp.
yeah.
kinda.
She gets closer to her husband there, and then you start hearing them talking about how she's not feeling well.
So he's
Getting kind of
recording it.
nauseous, and this happens. So it unmaps her for some reason. I was thinking, oh, there's a glitch, but watch what it's doing. Because she walked out of the room with nausea and a headache.
Yep.
Now look, it's on her stomach and her head.
She was so sick. And
She
we
had 2 people carry her out of that room. She starts walking here. It's like, I got to go. And then you'll see somebody else pop in to help her take her out of the room.
and we've never had that happen before. That was interesting. And then we had probably a dozen people from each location, not just that was in our group, that we were told had to leave the investigation. They all
Because they got sick.
And I don't know, my theory on it was we had a lot of people there that probably were being affected because of the full moon, but also probably maybe been a little empathic when we're picking up on the energies and didn't realize it. I don't think they went in it protected, so to speak. And so they got what they wanted. They got quite the experience.
I
But
actually had to leave the brothel like 3 times that night.
Well,
it was-
I'll tell you, it looks like this is something bad's going on here that would be happening in a brothel.
Yeah, right.
I think that's what I'm seeing. And Angel
Yeah,
asked
stuff like
if her
that.
attachment was a grubby male energy.
Yeah,
Oh,
that makes sense. Because I think Charity's was a female, a prostitute that was there that was actually having a miscarriage. So that was the kind of activity that was going on that night we were getting that has to do with the brothel type stuff. We've had at the brothel, we've had sounds of sexual stuff come through the VPs. We've had a lot of stuff that goes with the brothels in that sense that we've caught evidence of.
and I don't think, the brothel, they have, they investigate it maybe a couple times a year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
the rest
But I
is
don't
just
think they've
tours.
ever had that many people come through in an evening. they'll have tours that go through. They do give the history tour stuff, but
In the day.
during the day. But I mean, it was a harvest moon that night. It was just, I don't know, it was just right for whatever
Yep.
was going on for sure.
How often do you think it's the spirits that came with the people as opposed to the spirits of the
I
location?
think that was what the problem was. It was a mix
Could
of
be a
the
big
two.
part of it.
I think, because the energy was just whacked there that night.
Whether
was.
it's, people are bringing stuff in with them,
Mhm.
and the energy that's already there doesn't like that,
Mhm.
or it's just, who knows? But it was definitely wild.
One of the things I always tell people is when you know that you're going to a haunted location, so does your spirits that are with you all the time. And they take that opportunity to speak up and talk to you because you're expecting it there. You're not expecting it
That
right
makes sense.
here where you're at.
Yep.
So, and sometimes they will answer to any name that you call out because they want to be heard. So you have to you have to question this stuff. Who am
Right.
I really talking to? Am I talking to my grandma, or am I talking to,
Right.
the grubby male energy?
Yeah,
Angel and I've had that conversation, and it's like onion layers.
You have no idea what
Peel
you're
back those
communicating
layers.
with. They could be lying to you all day long.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
We have caught some funny stuff though, like over in the Fairmont. Actually had brought an attachment back to the house. Didn't realize it. It was on Scott's, my attachment magnet, I swear, because it was on him. And he leaned in to kiss me after being in the Fairmont. This was like a few days. It was pretty quiet in here. He leaned in to kiss me, and he smelled like cigarette smoke. He does not smoke at all. And so he leaned in, and it didn't feel like I was kissing him. I felt like, ew, get him, who are you? And he says, I'm going to go take a shower. Well, then we heard a little girl giggle. We heard some other stuff going on in the house. And Scott goes, I think, was it you that heard the little girl giggle?
I heard a little giggle downstairs.
And so I had already knew, because when he kissed me, that something was on him. So it's like, crap, I'm going to have Sage and do some kicking out, evicting. So we went back. This was back in February. And we had the microcom going, or necromancy. I think it was one of the other app that you have on your phone that Kim Mag was running. The tour lady was running. And I asked him, I said, did you follow me home? And he says, yes. I said, you're not allowed to do that. And he says, I said, and you kissed me. And he goes, but I liked it. And it was only once. And Scott only kissed me once. I said, you're not supposed to do that. So you can't follow me home. And he was joking. He thought it was funny. And so then we were walking around with the SOS, and we had two of the other managers from another hotel before, because this was all pre-event. And sure enough, right where we had been talking to the spirit, we get a stick figure, and he bends over and starts smacking his own butt. Like it's just, that's the kind of personalities you're going to have in Deadwood. It's just, I don't know. But yes, they like to follow you home and attach. They do. If you're not ready or you don't. Scott, I don't know if it's because he just is so much of a non-believer, but I've had to clear him a couple of times. So
she says it's me bringing him home, but I don't know about
it
that.
is.
Well, the thing is how do we can tell spirits all the time, you can't go home with us, but who says they have to follow the rules?
That's true.
And
True.
how do we know? I mean, how do we know for sure that they didn't follow you from your own house with going there and coming back? Again, we have to be, first off, skeptical. And second of all, we have to be questioning. If we're not questioning, then we're not doing our job.
In our situation, we test our equipment here. We don't investigate in our own house, but we do some testing. But so I do know, and I've seen them. We have a man and a woman farmer that lives downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have a spirit cat, which Rex can attest to, because it got up on his bed when he was here, and we caught it on the Ring camera. So anything outside those spirits, I give them they're not allowed to be here because they're not here when we moved here. They're not part of.
Yeah, this
they
house
don't
is
make
only
us
5 years
feel,
old, so they had to be with the land.
Yeah, and we don't get sick from their energy, so we leave them alone. So that's kind of my logic is if I feel fine, we're living life fine, and they're doing their business, we do our business. But if you interact or do something to make us sick or drain from us or make us tired, you've got to go. And that's kind of my general rule. So yeah. But because we know we've seen the stick figures of the man and woman in the house, we know where they show up all the time, and it's like almost like a residual type in energy almost, because it's always in the same places. So we know we're familiar with that. But if something else shows up in the house, I get out the sage, time to get serious about the blessings and everything else. And then the house will feel lighter to me. So I've gotten used to knowing what my house is supposed to feel like. So
Well,
that's
Jamie Lynn says coexist. It was likely their home first.
exactly.
And then
Yep.
Kim Moran asks, how do you stop something from following you home?
You can go, in my
No, it's
opinion,
not. He doesn't know.
in my opinion, Kim, is you make that intent. You let that intent be known when you're going into something that, it's kind of like on a date. I came here alone. I'm going home alone. Sorry, no baggage. And if sometimes there's things out there that are strong enough to ignore that. And then that's when you have to believe and have faith and not show fear and go through the whole procedures of cleaning out the house all over again until they get the message. I have never, and I've been in some dark, dark places. I've never had something stick around that I haven't wanted. I mean, it is gone. You just have to be true in your convictions. That's the kicker.
I think it comes to your own personal mind
Yeah.
and your willpower and your belief system.
Yeah. And
Honestly, because I've never had an attachment until a couple years ago. And maybe a year ago, last year was my first one.
I think you're open though. I mean,
Well,
because he
I have opened up more.
personally has had the experiences now. So
Are both of you were both of you baptized?
I was twice.
I was like 8 or 9, I think, when I was.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Since I have explored this side of myself, I believe in God, but I also have always been super spiritual with the Native American side and that kind of culture, into thinking that, I don't know, I have my own personal feelings about religion. And so,
I wasn't asking it for a religious reason,
okay.
because I've never been baptized.
Okay. But
Have you guys ever been scratched by a spirit?
this year. And Angel K, that was a crazy thing when it happened, because I had her.
That was at
remoting-
McIntyre
It was at McIntyre.
last month.
I got
And
scratched there in the basement.
yes,
Yep.
yes. And we were remoting, and I was trying to figure out something, and she was walking me through it. The ground, there's some concrete blocks downstairs. You know where I'm talking about, where the door has the scratches and it locks, and there's some actual the back room downstairs.
There was
And
2
so
back rooms.
I was walking across the bricks, and it felt spongy to me, and I couldn't figure out in my mind, my symbols or whatever, why the ground would be like that to me. So I had her on the phone, and she was remoting for me. And right then she's like, "Oh my God, you got scratched." And we're in the pitch dark when I'm doing
Yeah,
this. I'm like,
I know.
"No, I didn't." I said, yes, you did. I'm like, "No, I didn't." Scott had the camera with him, the night vision. I said, "Scott, you can hear us talking." I said, "Just
Had it been raining?
no,
Nope.
no."
Because
It was
there is a spring that runs under the house.
okay. Okay.
No, I meant for the
For the
ground,
ground being so soft there.
because it's a dirt basement.
Yep.
But yeah, we never went down in the basement until we were there back last May. But before that, well, I guess it was a year ago, May. But we had been in the house before that with the previous owners. So,
They never even took us in the basement.
yeah, they never even took us in the basement. Took us in the attic, but they didn't take us in the basement.
Oh.
So kind of a really cool thing that happened in the basement when all this was after she got scratched. I set up one of those GS2 laser grids from, you get from Ghost Stop. It's got the little screen on it. It's got the little dots, for cold
laser.
and hot, the red and the blue.
Yeah.
I set that up in the far room in the basement, facing that doorway that goes towards as you're going out. The doorway between the 2 rooms, and then you have the locked, or the door with the lock on it. So we were in the far back room with the grid facing the passway door. It's just
Okay, so it was facing to the
To the
west.
locked door.
Yeah, to the
As you
west.
would walk out, right? So it's it's facing the middle between the two rooms. And I set up a REM pod right on the threshold between the two rooms. And on the grid, there was nothing on the little display, but a red dot shows up on the grid, and not more than like 3 seconds after that red dot showed up in the same exact spot where my REM pod went off. So it picked something up there in the grid, and then it actually went full red. Every dot on that thing was red, except where our friend Bill was there investigating with us.
Mhm.
It kind of blocked him out. You could see the outline of him on the grid, but the thing just went nuts. And we were having the REM pod kept going off. She was seeing things in the next room. I actually walked up.
A shadow coming in.
Yeah,
on the
we haven't
CCTV.
even pulled the night vision camera because we had a closed circuit TV down there too. But when I walked and looked through that doorway, I swear that I saw something the same height as me looking back at me, and I just stepped back because it was like the creepiest feeling. And I don't normally get stuff like that.
I was manning the cameras upstairs because I'd already gotten scratched, and Angel, she felt it. That's how come she knew it. And so when he shined the camera on my arm, I had a big check mark looking scratch on my arm. So we were able to document it. But we went outside, and I was trying to figure stuff out, and I was talking, and she goes, "Did you see that?" And I wasn't looking. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye. Something ran by my feet. It followed me outside. Whatever was in the basement can come outside. And it went by. And then, so I start looking up, and I'm holding my phone up so she can see too. And I'm looking at the viewing at the windows, and I get over to the doll room, what they call the doll room now. And one thing that she's done is she's brought a doll in there, a haunted doll. And we had opened the case to it. And earlier that day, I was standing with my back to that case before it was open. And I started to fall back into the case like it was pulling on me. And so I had been targeted from that point on and didn't realize it. I stepped away from the case, but when we opened that case, I think it amplified the energy in that house with that doll that was in that case. That's what I think happened.
You should hear the history of just that area alone. I mean, not just the history that they tell you about the house.
I would love to hear it because that's what I told Scott. I said, this place around here looks like there's a lot to be said.
There's an explosion at the plant there.
Oh yeah, we were down by the river, and we saw the plaque there, the monument.
Well, just from where you were at 13th in Kansas, when you look over, there was an explosion there not that long ago. There's one all the time at MGP. Wow. I mean, it seems like there's one every couple years. So they have gas. Well, they're closing down anyway. January is their last month. Up there, they'll see the MGP in Indiana after this.
What is the negative entity over at the Sally house? Because we went over there in the day, and downstairs in the bathroom, when I was in the bathroom, I felt it through the wall, and it was almost a mimicking energy in that house.
The original spirits that were there are no longer there. They were cleansed out of the house. It's something somebody else has conjured some stuff in there in the last 5 years.
That's what's down in the basement.
Yeah, we actually caught something upstairs too in the closet of the one room.
Yeah,
I have a lot of stories about that place, but I don't want people to think, hey, I got to go to the Sally house. It's this and this. Yep. It's not that anymore. It was cleared during the eclipse back in 2017. And there's a film that's supposed to come out called The Deep Darkness that hasn't seen the light of day yet.
Okay.
And that's how I got into the McIntyre Villa. They filmed at the McIntyre Villa, the Schisler house, in front of the Eva C. Cray, the Glick mansion across the street, and the Sally house. And to be honest, the Glick mansion, it has a lot more crap in it than the Sally house. The house next door to the Sally house has more than the Sally house.
They have angels statues next to the Sally house. Of
course they do.
And then the cat there doesn't like to come across because there was a cat that they were feeding bread to or something, and it didn't want to come over there. It was weird.
There are there are cat spirits in the house.
Okay.
And so, like I said, I have got a pile of data on that house.
Rex,
And
look at your cat.
I know.
so, but yeah, like I said, I have a pile of data on that house, and I would spend all day telling you everything you need to know about the house. I just don't think it's worth going there anymore. And not for anything negative, because there's nothing, whatever's there has been conjured by people who have gone there since.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense because of the way the energy was interacting when I was walking through in the day. That was what I was trying to figure out. Now I did have some, what I call, it's your energy that's like, what is it? Imprinted your residual energy. Cause I was smelling, like alcohol smell, like the smell that they use for sterilizing rooms and stuff.
So that could be because of COVID, but that there was never there was never any surgeries in that house.
Okay.
There are so many untruths in that house. He had the doctor who lived there only lived there for a year, and then he lived in the house next door in the red house.
Okay.
And then his son lived in that house. He was a doctor too, but he died even before his dad died. And the office of that doctor was at 5th and Commercial, which is down the street. So, like I said, there's a lot of lies about that house. There's rumors that there was a tunnel underneath the Sally house to the red house next door. That's not true.
That's true.
There's those 3 houses together. The Sally house and each house on either side were built by the Finney family. But, and they had it down that the doctor did this and did this. The thing is he was mayor. He was one of the most respected men in town. How in the hell did this guy, one thing that I told people when I was doing tours, and Carl can attest to this, it was an election year, the year that I did this. I said, if somebody had killed my kid, by malpractice, I'd have been screaming from the rooftops, because in Atchison, the women could vote. Okay. They could vote in school elections and they could vote in state election or town elections. And this was prior to the women's right to vote. So they're voting on this stuff. And if it was me, I'd have been shouting from the rooftop, this guy is a quack. He killed my kid, blah, blah, blah. And, I would make that point. But he was elected by most of the women in town.
Okay.
So how true is this story of a Sally? I don't think from the 7 years I spent there and the 7 years I spent I probably spent 10 years researching the house. But from all that, I never found in death records any child that died in that house. And Kansas started keeping death records in 1905. And they say that it was in 1906, 1907.
Yeah.
The only Sally that we could find was a Native American or an African American woman that may have worked for the Glicks across the street as a maid, but she had 2 obituaries. So she had one that she lived in an alley, a house off an alley 2 blocks down, or she lived in a house down by Benedictine College, which about 7 blocks down. Okay, so which one was it? You
Right.
have 2 obituaries in 2 different papers saying that you lived in 2 different places. You're an African American woman. You're not allowed to own property. So where in the world are you gonna?
Yeah.
So, and then Sally is also known to be a nickname for Elizabeth or Margaret or some other things. Betsy was another. So I don't know why you would call somebody Sally.
Right.
Her name was Elizabeth, but it is what it is, so
Weird. Like,
when you think about that,
Urban legends getting
every
started.
death record, and he would have to sign it. I mean, if she died and he was the attending doctor, he would have to sign that. And then you got one more thing that's going for my theory is everything was in the newspaper. Everything.
Yeah.
If I was visiting in town, it would say I was in town for this, or this. So like I said, I want people to be critical of the stories that they get, because they don't always get the truth. They get what they want you to hear.
Yes.
Right.
And the only thing I can say is truthful is Deb and Tony Pickman, what they wrote in their book of their experiences. That would be, yeah, it's fine. So, but that's it. So you guys, if you really want to know more about the Sally House, I'll tell you everything you want to know. And in fact, a friend of ours is writing a book about the Sally House, and he's going to be using a lot of my data.
Okay.
Yeah, and the city owns that now, right?
No.
They were
No.
who was in the tours for it?
Because we got tickets for tours, and I can't
So
remember.
the Atchison Chamber of Commerce, they split the funds with the owner. So the owner and his brother own the house.
All right.
And so for charity, basically, it pays
What
for
was
education.
that?
What?
Yeah, I saw that.
You had something fly behind you.
Looked like it
What's
came
wrong?
in over.
No, over
On
your
your
other
left.
shoulder. It's
Yeah.
your left shoulder.
Yep, came down.
I mean,
to
it was very apparent.
Yeah. I'm glad you saw that, Rex.
Yeah, it was white.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
have to go
I saw
back
it.
and watch it.
Your left shoulder?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a white string.
Go back. A minute and an hour and 36 minutes.
Yeah. Flew right by
Hour
you.
36. Okay,
Yep.
I'll have to do that. So,
Paranoid.
so I would like to thank you guys so much for coming on. Rex, where can everybody find you?
Right here. No.
Iowa.
Um,
Buy some corn.
you can find me at All Out Paranormal, my Facebook page, or Unexplainable Art. You can find me there. And yes, everybody, I'm working on the third book right now. It's not the one I was talking about. I got so many people asking to do an adult coloring book.
Yes.
So I am drawing 60 pictures by hand to put in the new my next book.
Adult.
Yeah, adult. It's not,
So are we going to have to?
okay.
So are we selling
That's
this
a good
through
one.
Playboy? Is that? Does Playboy even still exist?
Pornhub.
Pornhub? Okay.
I wouldn't on that.
No.
I wouldn't have known that.
I just
Hands
it's weird
only.
to call it that. I mean, it's. I mean,
I know.
a kid could do it too, but I'm putting so much
Yeah.
intricacy in every one of these pictures. It's going to take you a while to color these in. And what I'm doing is I'm going back to some of my old artwork,
Wow.
going, man, this would be a cool thing to color. So I'm redrawing all these pictures. Essentially,
That's cool.
then I'm filling in the background with my Zentangle, my strange stuff that I put in the background, my crosshatch work and stuff like that. And I was talking to my publisher today, and I told her, maybe 25, 30 pictures. She goes, no, it should be at least 60. So
Wow.
I have 52 more pictures to go.
Okay. Well, I have an idea for you that I will share with you off of here.
Okay.
Don't want somebody to steal it. Don't want anybody. You can have it. And you want to plug your piece of equipment before you go?
And thanks to Horn Paranormal, that is exclusive, an AOP. So you can get a hold of me and sign me up again, Rex. I will, Jamie.
So December, you think these will be offered, Rex?
Yeah. And I'm
for
shooting for that. And I'm trying to shoot for something else that I'll be releasing in December. And I'm really going to try to get the coloring book out before December.
Awesome.
Since I'm going to be laid up for the next, few months, I've already got a list of probably 40 pictures that I'm going to redo already. So I'm really going to put to to the grindstone and try to get it done for Christmas.
So
Because
you're
my
gonna
last
work on
book
your
didn't
carpal
sell worth
tunnel?
a damn. What now?
Gonna work on you getting corporal tunnel?
You know, I'm getting close because look at my. That's just from, and it's constant because, you know, I some days there's 12, 14 hours I'll sit there and work on my drawings. So I want to do as much as I can, and because my last book really didn't sell like I thought it was going to. I put a lot of work and a lot of time and effort into it, and I think it's a beautiful book because it was all colorized, but my black and white book sold better than the color one.
It could just be the economy right now.
Yeah.
I'm still hoping, you know, the biggest thing was I had a book signing, plastered it all over everything. Nobody showed up.
When was that?
Last month at the public
The
library.
weather was so good, nobody wanted to go to the library.
And I felt like such an idiot. I had all this stuff set up. They had this big room set up for me. I was so ready, and nothing. I sat in an empty room.
And you couldn't leave in case somebody did show up.
Yep. And it was fine. I mean, I'll do it again. Like I said, I'm new at this. I never expected to put out one book, let alone I'm working on my third just this year. So
well, thank you so much, Rex, for coming on, and thank you for sharing your device with all of us. And hey, Crystal, and just so you guys know, another cousin.
It's a family show.
It is. So Scott and Kim, where can everybody find you?
We just released our website a couple months ago, hornparanormal.com. We have all our equipment on there. And then there's also a link to the Searchers website where you can find the Searchers gear, searchersbelieve.com. And we also have a YouTube, which I think we've only got maybe 10 or 11 videos out there.
We got thousands we need to download.
Yeah. So that's at Horn Paranormal 1134, I believe, on YouTube.
Yep.
So
And then on Facebook at Who's Afraid of the Dark, which is Horn Paranormal Research, but you can put that in there and it'll.
So if you see that lit up red hand,
that's us.
Bloody hand, that's our logo.
Yeah.
You know,
follow us. Let us know your opinions of what you'd like to see.
We will be in Virginia City next month on the 9th of November through the 12th. We're going out for an event. It's Shane Pittman and Tara McLeod, Soul Circle Paranormal. That'll be our first time out there. So we're going to set up a vendor table and then partake in all the investigations of the town. So that should be fun.
Well, hopefully Michelle.
I would be there if I could. I
Michelle,
really would.
Yep, Michelle
LeBaron.
I'm excited to meet her. Yep.
She is a hoot.
I hope
she truly is. I met her up in Marshalltown.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
we investigated with her and Amy. We ended up being one of the few that could really actually go and investigate.
Oh.
They didn't sell as many tickets as they thought they would. So, but it was fun. I got stepped on by people, and but it was interesting. We had a good time up there. But thank you guys so much. I hope you guys will join us next Monday at 7:00 p.m. Central here, and right here on Bill of Rights Network, Paranormal Pride. You know, wherever you find me now, you'll find me then. And I don't know who my guest is going to be yet. I've been asking some people. But with it being the night before Halloween, and a lot of places have already started their Halloween stuff.
Right.
I don't know if I'm going to have a show or not, but right now, at this point in time, I'm planning on one. And join us tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Central, right here on the Bill of Rights Network. And we may have a surprise for you guys. you'll find out then. So join us and make sure you guys have a great week. And if I don't talk to you, have a happy Halloween. Good night, everyone.
Good night.